Okay, well this is part two of my Glock 19 mod video. Now, in part one, you saw essentially what the gun looked like originally, plus the trigger having been changed. Uh, I put on the back strap and a few small parts, primarily internal parts. The various, extended items that I add to it, slide stop and the takedown. So that's all I had before. And I think the guys down at Gun Envy did a really great job. Their stippling guy also did a very great job on the grip. I'm pretty happy with it. Uh, the only thing I think that I don't like about the grip, I like the grip as it stands up front and on the sides. The back strap, I probably should have gotten it a little bit, it's very aggressive. I probably should have got it a little bit lighter up here because when I grab it, the web of my hand is up here and it's just as aggressive down here as it is up here. So it does bite quite a bit. And if you're shooting a lot on the top of the web of my hand, it rubs it raw. So that's the only thing, and that's my fault because I asked to get the most tacky grip that I could possibly get on this thing, so it didn't move around. And when my hands got sweaty and when I was shooting in the summertime, that it would make for a perfect made-up grip. And I think it'll do that, with the exception, like I said, of too much on the upper portion of the beaver tail. But I think the stippling guy did a great job with this. The only thing that he could not do that I wanted him to do is making a well. He just said he didn't have the skills or the tools to design a mag release well. I think if I had to do it over again, I would have done it the way they originally suggested it and have it stippled all the way to the crease in the back strap. That way it's not as wide. I thought it would look cooler, kind of like it is. You can see the logo really well. The guy did a good job. See the logo right here on the back fairly well. And if you look right here, I just had it stippled in between these. Now, the guy doing the stippling, they also did the radius cut, which I like, which I can get a really good grip on the gun. So that's kind of nice. Being able to get that high grip, something I wanted to do. Now, a lot of people with the serious custom jobs, they cut this up. I don't see a point in that. All it does is lighten the frame just a little bit, and it really, to me, serves no purpose. So, since I didn't think it served much of a purpose, I didn't have it done. Uh, my light is on the gun right now, but you'll see that I had the front of it stippled, as also I had it stippled here. This I had it stippled in a rectangular pattern. You flip it around, went with the angle. And I've seen other people do that before, and I thought that would look, kind of neat, look pretty cool. So went with that as far as the stippling. So I think the stippling job went pretty good. It went real well. As far as the other things, as you can see, I put suppressor sized sights on this because I have my RMR. I had the RMR before I bought the, or I bought the RMR before I bought the gun because I was going to put it on this gun. Now here's the thing. Now I have the cover that goes on top of the Glock. When I went to the website and I looked at a couple other things, I was trying to figure out what mounting solution goes on this gun, because this is an MOS version, so it comes with a base plate, which I have on it now. But when you go to the website for Trigicon and you look at the RMRs, they say that the only way you can mount an RMR on an MOS version gun is if you buy a little shim. They say that due to the length of these set screws or these screws, because the length, for some reason, they won't mate up correctly with this base plate. So you have to get a shim. And the shim it's like a $15–20 item depending on where you get it. I bought this on Amazon, so I think I paid about 15. I think on the Trijicon site it's like 20 bucks. So, just something to think about. If you go to the Trijicon site, they'll tell you this will not mate up correctly. You need to buy a shim. Now let's go back to the gun itself. As you can see, I got the slide Cerakoted in a really cool color. Now I like this color. This is the burnt bronze. I think it's a really cool color, especially with a two-tone look. They asked me if I wanted to do the whole thing in burnt bronze. I'm like, no, I want to go two-tone. If you look straight down the barrel here, you can see how it's so much smaller up front. There's an angle. So they cut this angle on both sides, and they cut the front angle. Now, to be honest with you, what I really wanted is an angle, well, kind of like this. On the 26, you can see, how they do this beveled angle. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that on the longer gun. But this is done at the factory using factory machining. So, that's what they do. It's easier. When you deal with an aftermarket gun shop that does machining, they can only do certain things. So they can only do the right angles. So, I'm pretty happy with the right angles that I got, as opposed to something like this, which is, this is factory. So, but, it looks pretty cool. Now, they only went back as far as here because what they didn't want to mess up anywhere where the RMR would mate up. And I've seen other places, they'll do the radius cut and then they'll go around the screw holes. So you'll see them at an angle, and then you'll see kind of a weird little bevel that goes around, and then they come back. So they couldn't do that at their level with what they do. They're only doing straight angles. So they stopped the cut here, but then in the very back, they picked it up back here. Now it's kind of hard to see. You'll have to look at it from the back, and you can just barely tell that their angle's right there. And the angle's almost the same as my sight. I went to Gun Envy, which is on Indianola Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, and I got this done. Cost me a couple $100. I think all total, maybe I want to say around $250, $300, in between $250 and $300. So for the most part, this project gun is done. And I say for the most part, because what I want to add to this is I want to take out this stock barrel and get a threaded barrel. One more thing. Now I have this on my other gun, my other 19. In my other 19, I have a steel guide rod at the bottom. So, and it's captive, and I really like it. It's got a black end to it. Since this thing is a Gen 4, obviously it's going to have a Gen 4 guide rod. But I was thinking about either going with a stainless steel guide rod or possibly even a tungsten. I don't know. So let me know what you think. Take a look at the gun. I really like it. Give me some comments on the mods. See if you've done anything. I know you've probably seen some similar guns that look almost exactly like this because, people see a gun that they like online on Instagram or or whatever, and they decide, yeah, I want a gun that looks exactly like that, but I want to add this to it, or exactly like that, but I think if they left that off and kept that one part stock, it would be perfect. Basically, it's a project gun. You're designing what is perfect for you. So, once again, leave in your comments what you think you would do or would have done, or what you think are pretty cool.